Hello everybody and welcome back to the Traxion channel for a slightly different video. Now some of you may be aware that TraxionGG are teaming up with TWP Racing for the 2022 750 Motor Club Enduro Championship. Now to tell you a little bit more about what that partnership means, I'm going to take you back in time to a cold, wet and windy Donington Park in the middle of December 2020. Donington Park, the scene of many classic BTCC battles, and one of the greatest opening laps we have ever witnessed. Usually not in the middle of December though. Thanks to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, the 2020 Club Enduro Championship had been pushed back to the second half of the year, with Christmas lights present on a race weekend for the first time in my memory. TWP Racing are a student-led team who were founded in 2014 by John Munro and his son Will. Their partnership with Wrexham University allows students to develop their skills and gain crucial experience in the industry as part of a fully fledged racing team, hence the name, Together We Progress. I was introduced to the team at Spa back in 2017 and have been racing with them ever since in their Mark III Mazda MX-5 endurance car. We've had a lot of success together, including race wins, pole positions and lap records at the likes of Spa, Donington Park and Silverstone. In 2020, however, the team had been heavily affected by the pandemic, and heading into the final round at Donington Park, we were sitting 6th in the standings. The day before the finale, I joined up with my good friend Dan Blake for a support race in an older Mark I MX-5 to have a bit of fun in the treacherous conditions. It's always good to race with somebody else in the same car, as it allows you to share data and help each other find ways to improve. Unfortunately, a differential issue in the race prevented us from fighting at the sharp end, but we had a laugh sliding the car about on the cold, wet and oily surface, picking up a top 10 finish in class. After the fun of Saturday, the focus now shifted to the season finale in Club Enduro. We had finished 3rd place in the championship the previous year, but arguably should have been higher after a run of bad luck saw us retiring from winning positions on more than one occasion. 2020 had been a tougher year for the team, and we'd struggled for outright pace, but despite only sitting 6th in the standings, we were still in with an outside shot at 3rd in the title.
So you're joining me here just before the race. We've had qualifying about an hour ago and it definitely wasn't without incident. Just before the session, the team actually discovered we had an issue with an ABS sensor. So they didn't have time to sort it before the qualifying, which meant we had to go out there in these treacherous conditions with no ABS. And if any of you have experienced driving a race car with no ABS in oily, greasy, slippy conditions, it's definitely not the most enjoyable. I definitely found that out going into turn 1. On I think my 2nd or 3rd lap, I'd just come on the team radio to say how good the car was feeling. Hit the brake pedal into turn 1 and completely locked up. So I was trying everything to get my foot off the pedal, trying to get the car turned in, but there was absolutely nothing, and I shot straight into the gravel. Thankfully, no damage, didn't hit any walls, and the marshals were very politely dragged my poor Mazda back out of the gravel.
After that mishap, and with a lack of ABS, we qualified right towards the rear of the field, a long way from where we would have liked to have been. The aviation fuel dropped from the planes flying overhead, mixed with the cold temperatures and heavy rainfall, made this the worst racing surface I had ever experienced in terms of grip. However, the silver lining was that we had actually managed to out-qualify our championship rival, the Flying Tangerine Mazda. They had pipped us to the finish in 2 of the previous 3 rounds and were currently holding that 3rd place championship spot we desperately wanted.
So just to give you a quick update, we're about an hour and 10 minutes into the 2-hour race. I've finished my stint. It was absolutely mental. No other words to describe it really. The conditions were atrocious. To be honest, the more rain than qualifying actually made it a little bit easier because it kind of washed away some of the oil. So the grip was a bit better, and obviously having the ABS in the car gave me a little bit more confidence to be able to push a little bit later into braking zones and stuff like that. Nick's in the car now for the last 50 minutes. We actually climbed from 11th on the grid up to about 3rd in my stint. Took our pit stop and dropped to 4th. So it's all looking pretty good, to be honest. We're sitting 4th. Obviously, we've got our eyes on those top 3 trophies, but I think there's a lot of quick cars right behind us. And to be honest, we had a safety car that came out just after the pit stop as well. It bunched everyone up. So if Nick is any slower than any of the cars behind us, then we could be in strife. And to be fair, a lot of them that were behind us were actually a bit quicker in qualifying and maybe had a few issues in the race. So it's been a steady run, and we've made lots of ground, but I don't think it's over yet. And yeah, I mean, obviously the cars in front of us could still go off, and I think some of them are yet to pit. So there's still potential of a podium in that sense, but then you never know if the guys behind could come through as well. So let's just wait and see how it develops.
Nick's first problem was dealing with the misted up windscreen. His second problem was dealing with slower traffic. However, in the end, he took the car home to the checkered flag, and miraculously, we clinched the 3rd place championship spot.
It's tricky to know where to start with that race. I think it pretty much had everything. It was actually, weirdly enough, it ended up being the worst finish we've had this season. Obviously, we had the DNF last time out, but it's a 5th place finish. So much happened, it's hard to kind of digest. The start of the race was really strong. I had good pace. I was able to overtake a few of the cars that were ahead of me, and to be fair, a lot of them actually just fell off the road, which made it a lot easier for me. There was a really good battle at one point where I was behind the V8 supercar, the big Holden, and that not only sounded amazing, but was hilarious to follow it and watch it drifting everywhere. So I definitely enjoyed myself behind the wheel. The other thing as well is we went into this round in 6th in the championship, thinking, you know, we're not really realistically going to be able to move too far up that, and we'll just see what happens. But the way it transpires with the points and stuff, because Nick was able to beat the orange Flying Tangerine MX-5 of Tidmarsh and Richardson in the second stint of that race, we actually managed to jump them on points, and not only that, we jumped the other 2 cars as well that were immediately in front of us. So what it means is we end up picking up 3rd in the championship for what is actually the 3rd year in a row. It's a bit crazy because this year we probably don't deserve to be 3rd in the championship. We just haven't had the pace that we've had in previous years. I'd say last year we were actually unlucky to be only 3rd, whereas this time it feels kind of like the opposite end of the scale. But we've actually matched our result, which is surprising. And I didn't really mention it earlier on just simply because it wasn't even in my mind that it would be possible. But the way it's transpired and everything, we have claimed 3rd. So yeah, it's great to kind of walk away with a championship trophy and a top 3. I think you can't really ask for more than that. Especially from such a tricky weekend with these tricky conditions, you know, anything could have happened. So many cars were going off, and we've come out of it in one piece, and obviously everyone in the team's delighted. So yeah, really, really positive, and we're very much excited to see what's going to happen next. Obviously now it's a bit of a waiting game. We just have to wait and see what the plans are off season and what our plans are for next year. But you know, this team have come such a long way in the last 2 or 3 years. We've been progressing the car. Obviously this year's probably been the most challenging of them all. I think, you know, this is the first time we've actually taken a bit of a step back, but up until this point the team's just been going up and up and up, and hopefully, you know, if things are going well, this team can achieve huge things in the future, but we just have to wait and see.
So, fast forward a year and here we are, getting ready for the 2022 Club Enduro Championship. Now this partnership between TraxionGG and TWP Racing means that we're going to be bringing you lots of real life racing content as well to run alongside all the gaming stuff. It's going to be great, I cannot wait, and if there are any videos you would like us to make during the 2022 racing season, maybe you want to see some sim versus real comparisons or challenges, please let us know in the comments below. If you want to see how the team are doing, make sure you like their Facebook page and follow them on Twitter at TWP_Racing. Of course, subscribe to the Traxion channel if you want to catch all of our content heading into the new year, and until I see you next time, keep it pinned, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.